This episode, we're testing this 14-inch Derale high output brush fan. The results are gonna blow your mind, I promise. Welcome back to FastMonty's Garage. Today we're testing the Derale 14-inch brush fan, and it has 2 speeds, which is interesting, but we're gonna test all the things. CFM, loaded and unloaded, noise, amp draw, all the things. Now, it's rated at 2100 CFM on paper, and we're going to do it my way, and I'm going to show you how to do this at home the right way, and you can actually figure out if your fans are telling the truth or not to help you make a better buying decision on your next fan. Now, if you don't know and you're brand new, welcome. I restored the 69 GTO you see behind me, and in doing so, I bored and stroked the Pontiac 400 to a 470, and it almost puts out twice as much power. And whenever you put out more power, guess what, boys and girls? You're putting out more heat. So in doing so, I found out the hard way. I needed a better radiator, and I wanted to go to serpentine belt, so I went with electric fans, and I found I need better fans. And now we're here. And if you don't know, if you go to FastMonty'sGarage.com, I now design shrouds for cold case radiators. Cold case radiators happen to have really fat tubes inside to increase the surface area of air going over the aluminum, pulling more heat out of your coolant. That's how you get massive efficiency. Now, in order to maximize that efficiency, you need the most CFM you can get in that square footage of your core of your radiator. And that's how those shrouds came about. And then I got into testing fans and very eye-opening results. Again, if you go back to FastMonty'sGarage.com, there's a fan test link. It shows all the fans I've tested thus far. And most of those fans are recommendations from you guys, which includes this one, the Derale 14-inch. Now, by the way, I don't even know if I'm saying it right, so leave a comment. Is it Derale? Derale? I don't know, but make sure you use phonetic spelling, because we're going to make fun of you if you don't. Now, all kinds of questions going on here, and we're going to show you, like I said, how to do this at home. There is a right way and a wrong way to do CFM measuring, but we're going to do everything today, and I'm going to populate that chart at the end of the video to help you guys make a better buying decision. Now, before we get going, please consider subscribing. Subscribing is free. It just notifies you when I come up with new videos. There's a ton more projects to come on the GTO. But there's also other ways to support the channel. Join the Full Monty Club down there, buying hats, shirts, all proceeds going to buying parts to test and growing the channel to help everyone learn faster. Because as you guys know that have been here a while, I make the mistakes, you learn faster. So without further ado, let's get to the workbench and show you how to set up your test bench. First things first, huge pet peeve of mine, actual blade diameter is 13 inches. This is advertised as a 14-inch fan, boys and girls. I expect the fan blade to be 14 inches diameter, and so should you. So be careful when you place an order with a fan manufacturer. Be prepared to be underwhelmed. Let me show you an example. This is a Spall brushless 14-inch fan. And look, it's 14 inches. Shocking news, right? This is also on the top of the leaderboard. If you want to check it out, they're also very expensive. So, hey, give what you pay for. Let's get back to testing this. Here's the setup. We have an anemometer, power supply, a decibel tester, amp clamp to measure amps, a custom shroud I made for testing fans, and I mounted the fan with the wires up. The directions say airflow needs to go where the wires are located on the Derale or Derale, whatever the name is, fan. And as you can tell underneath, there is nothing there. And this is how all fan manufacturers test their fans. They test them with no load, they call it, in the way of the airflow. And they also test it with a plenum. So if you've ever seen someone test the CFM right by the fan blades, that's not how you do it, boys and girls. That's because there's too much turbulence coming off of these ridges and off the fan blade edges themselves. It will skew your reading. Now, if you're a professional HVAC or heating, ventilation, air conditioning guy, you know that you have to test this thing 2.5 times away from the diameter. So you got to be like 3 feet away. And you've probably seen those plenums that they use for testing. They're kind of a small diameter, and then they get bigger and rectangular at the top or square at the top. They actually measure pressure differential as well using Bernoulli's equation, and that's how you get the true CFM of a system. Those things cost $2,500 range. Yeah, I'm not prepared to buy that for you guys. Yeah, so if you want to do this at home, the best way to do it is with a cone like that. This thing I made, and again, I've tested every fan the same manner. It actually converges up to a 12-inch diameter hole, and so I can input 0.785 feet in my anemometer, and my anemometer, geez, I can't talk, calculates the CFM for us. So if you're going to do this at home, I would suggest getting an anemometer. You can put the square footage of that opening in the anemometer, and you also have to test this outside the vehicle. Testing it right by the fan blade is not going to cut it. It's not going to give you a real number, and that's also loaded. We're going to do loaded as well to show you the big difference, and it's on my chart on my website, loaded and unloaded. We're going to do the amp draw real quick here, sorry. See, not enough coffee, I don't know. So let's get into it. I'm going to tape this down so I don't have no air gaps, and we'll get going with the CFM and initial amp draw unloaded. Here we go. Got the cone all taped up, all the air gaps sealed. I'm going to go ahead and start it up. Measure CFM. I have my anemometer set to max. I do this every time. You're still going to see a fluctuation. It's less so in this scenario versus right off the fan blade. You'll see a ton of min-max fluctuation. So the tighter you can get that bandwidth, the better your measuring results are going to be. So I do max every time, and I'll show you the first measurement, and we'll go from there. Let's go. Ooh, 48 amps. All right, 1980. Remember, manufacturer spec 2100. I'm going to go write this down, and I'm going to measure it, I don't know, 5 more times because I can get some fluctuation in measuring. And I'm also going to monitor the amp draw because that's a big deal. The startup amp draw and the running amp draw. I'm not going to document on the website because the most important amp draw is when it's loaded on a radiator. Be right back. There we go. I took, 5 or 6 measurements there. I averaged it out. I'm going to say 1970-ish is the right CFM. For unloaded, 49 amps is the amp draw when it fires up, and then while it's running, 17.5 amps. So that's a good starting point. I'm gonna go ahead and get the radiator mounted up, do it again. All right, got my cold case radiator set up, and this is for GMA bodies. It's an LS version, which is a later date topic, but anyway, this is why the shroud is shaped the way it is. It fits right on this radiator, and it's fully sealed all the way around. Now before we get going, we need to talk about the wiring real quick. Black is ground, obviously. If you run positive to gray, it'll run low speed, but you need to have power on both to actually run high speed. Are we ready? Let's go. We're going to test the amperage again, but after it's running, the startup amperage is going to be the same as if it was free flowing. Oh, and by the way, it's still free flowing underneath the radiator, just so there's no optical illusions going on. It's not on top of a desk. So we are ready to begin. Same drill. Fire it up. I'm going to see if I can see the amp draw real quick just to make sure. We have our noise meter down below, and I'll go ahead and check the amperage after it's running as well. But let's go, see what we get. All right, out the box, 1440. I honestly don't know where that stands. I have to go check our chart. I'm gonna measure it a few more times, collect some more data, populate the chart, and be back to summarize this. Okay, boys and girls, the leaderboard is prepped and ready, and wouldn't you know it, this Derale 14-inch at high speed ranks number 2 on my list. Here's the chart already on my website. Pretty darn impressive. And if you go to the far column where the amp draw is located, if you've been watching these videos since day one, since me doing this, I've always said the dead giveaway when you look at specs is the amp draw. This thing is second rated for amp draw. So 23 amps, and lo and behold, it's second rated for CFM draw. So there's your telltale sign. Again, you go to this list and you can look at the list and, oh, by the way, I did test the low setting. You're gonna have to go look at the list online because that beats a couple other fans at max setting. So yes, I do like this fan. I was shocked that it wasn't measuring 14-inch diameter. Apparently it doesn't matter. It's pulling some decent CFM. I think the one thing, oh, by the way, I owe you guys a big thank you, one of you, a big thank you, and that's Nat. So Nat reached out to me. He has these fans in his Gen 1 Camaro, I want to say, and he doesn't have a shroud for them, so they're not covering his radiator properly. So he asked if maybe I can design a shroud, and I said, well, in all honesty, I need to test the fan first before we can go down that path. So guess what, Nat? Now I have some work to do because I'm going to see if I can get my Gen 1 Firebird and Camaro shrouds to fit with this 14-inch fan. Because, yeah, it pulls some massive CFM, but we have some issues with this, and that's the thickness of it. The entire thing is 2 5/8 inch thick, whereas typical fans you'll see on the market, they're 2.5 to 3 inches thick in the middle where the motor is, but then it tapers off towards the end, and that allows you to fit around power steering pumps and steering boxes and alternator pulleys, etc. So yeah, if you reach out to me and I've already have a shroud designed for your radiator, I will look at mounting this one. It's going to be more difficult because there's no flats on the side to move side to side. I have to look at the different mounting pattern, and there's some challenges there. But please reach out, fastmontysgarage@gmail.com, or hit my website up, fastmontysgarage.com. Either way, I can get to work on it. But again, guys, thanks for hanging out. I hope you learned a lot. Yeah, more fan testing to do, more shrouds to make. Send me a note if you have a cold case radiator and I don't have a shroud for you yet. Same deal. It doesn't take me that long since I have a bunch of different shrouds I can modify and make it work. So yeah, again, until next time, build them fast, drive them faster. See ya. Damn.